Video finds you. I hope you're doing well. I have some big bombshell stories coming out of the Trump re-election campaign. Trump makes a legal threat that people should be absolutely terrified of in light of the fact that there is a lot of fraud going on in the election with only a few days left to vote. This is a big deal. Before we jump in, I wanted to show you guys a funny shirt my wife bought. Look at this, Thug Life. Vivek, Charlie Kirk, Trump, got Tucker Carlson. We got others. Look at that. Isn't that such a great shirt? All right, let's jump into some serious bit of news. All right, now 1 week to go until the election. Pennsylvania police have uncovered a significant case of election fraud. Around October 21st, Lancaster County detectives reported receiving 2,500 voter registration forms just before the submission deadline. These were dropped off in 2 huge batches. These forms, which were submitted last minute, were dated back to June of this year. Now, publications like ZeroHedge speculate the timing of this fraud was deliberate, likely intended to overwhelm election workers and avoid getting caught. Now, thankfully, this attempt was caught, especially in a swing state like Pennsylvania. However, that's not what's happening in Virginia, where a Democrat judge has just ordered Governor Youngkin of Virginia to put illegal immigrants and illegal voter registration back into the system. Now, this fraud appears linked to a voter canvassing organization that allegedly paid individuals to gather registration. Some forms were entirely fabricated, while others had real names but fake signatures. Now, Lancaster County DA Heather Adams explained that the fraudulent registration are believed to be connected to a large-scale canvassing operation started back in June, but the dates are around August 15th. So it looks like they were gathering these fake ballots for about 2 months. While the organization behind the scheme hasn't been named publicly yet, 2 scenarios are likely. Either workers falsified information in order to collect fees on more applications, or the group was involved in a larger scheme to sway the election. My belief is they were trying to sway the election. Now, if undetected, this fraud could have added thousands of illegal votes to the Pennsylvania system. In some states like Georgia, where Trump supposedly lost by 10 or 11,000 fraudulent votes, one dump like this would have added 10 to 20% of the fake votes necessary in order to flip the election. Do you understand what I'm saying? One drop was 10 to 20% of all it took to cause Trump to lose an election. Now, unfortunately, this wasn't the only instance of election interference reported. Earlier today, a ballot drop box in Portland, Oregon, in a conservative area was set on fire. Just an hour later, another box in Vancouver, Washington, was also set on fire. Fortunately, the Oregon box had fire protection, and most of the ballots were spared. However, in Washington, hundreds of ballots were destroyed. In California, a drain pipe was found with hundreds of ballots stuffed inside instead of being delivered to voters through the U.S. Postal Service. By the way, thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. Last week, you gave one of my videos almost 39,000 likes. You guys, it helps me so much. So thank you so much. Now, let me know in the comments, what do you think? I'm finding these stories over and over and over again. I'm not going to spend the whole time, but just suffice it to say, there is election shenanigans happening, and most of it is against Donald Trump. Now, there are currently multiple videos of these ballot boxes burning on social media. I've never seen evidence of election fraud that was so undeniable. Somebody is trying to block votes by hundreds and thousands. While I can't claim every event is connected, the labels that Harris and Biden have used on Trump are likely causing people to panic. For example, if you genuinely believe that Donald J. Trump is Adolf Hitler, you would do anything, including rig the election by burning ballots, ballot harvesting, making up fake ballots, voting for people you shouldn't in order to sway the vote away from Donald J. Trump. Again, I mean, just last week, Harris called an emergency meeting to let everyone know that Donald Trump is Hitler. Then they had this beautiful, beautiful rally in New York City, and they literally called MAGA voters and Donald Trump and his followers Nazis and Hitlers the entire time. So everyone that went to Madison Square Garden, that's my name, Garden, and inside and out, close to about 110,000 total. They're saying all those people are Nazis. It's crazy. Now, this caused Donald Trump, the former president, to issue a huge legal threat about voter fraud. And I'm so glad that he did it. Let me put it up on the screen. I'm going to read it while it's on here. He says, I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely because I know better than most the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place by the Democrats in the 2020 presidential election. It was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny. And when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences so that the depravity of justice does not happen again. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Please beware that the legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Those involved in unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels, unfortunately, never seen before in our country. So Donald Trump is taking election integrity serious. He's saying, we are going to set an example, and we're going to have to prosecute and jail people for what they are doing. You guys, one drop-off, literally 10 to 20% of the elections needed to rig the election against Donald Trump. How many others have already come in that they didn't catch? And then down in Virginia, they're literally forcing the governor to put thousands of names back on the voter rolls. This is crazy. So, of course, now you have people like Brian Tyler Cohen, MSNBC, others. They're saying, oh my gosh, look, Trump is Hitler. He's threatening to lock people up. Well, guess what? If you cheat in the election, it's already something you could be prosecuted and put in jail for. So all he's doing is reminding people and then saying, I will follow through. You will be held accountable. All right, now the recent Joe Rogan podcast with President Trump has amassed over 35 million views on YouTube alone. It's believed probably another 50 million or more over on Spotify and other platforms. It was 3 hours long, and I just want to go over the takeaways. 3 hours was a long time. Casey and I listened to the whole thing. It was fantastic. Trump has never looked sharper. I mean, he was so sharp. It was crazy. All right, now first, Trump mentioned considering replacing federal income tax with tariffs, citing how the economy improved under lower tax rates in his first term. Though Rogan questioned whether tariffs alone could sustain government revenue, Trump emphasized, we will not allow the enemy to come in and take our jobs, take our factories, and take our workers, and take our families unless they pay a big price. The big price is tariffs. Look, I don't think Trump has a realistic plan right now, but I know that he has a group of some of the sharpest economists in the world that are already on his transition team. And there was a time in American history where we had so much money coming in from tariffs that the federal government didn't know what to do with it. So you couple tariffs with Elon Musk and his team going in and slashing all of the government waste. And I think it could happen. But let me know in the comments, do you think with the right economists and the right team and courage that we could completely change the financial trajectory of our country? I believe it. Second, Trump discussed his approach to defeating ISIS. He criticized top military advisors as dumb compared to those just one rank below that he said are courageous and brilliant. He cited conversations with military personnel that suggested Obama could have eliminated ISIS and chose not to, because people in the military are not allowed to question the president's authority, unless it's General Mark Milley. Now, third, Trump stated he knows for a fact that Putin would not have invaded Ukraine under his watch. While Trump withheld details to show respect for private conversations, he seemed to suggest that Putin was aware of the consequences if he chose to invade. Trump claimed that they had conversations both in Russia and China about invading Ukraine. So while these events seem relatively recent to us, Trump says they definitely happened and they would not have invaded if there wasn't a weak, feckless president like Joe Biden. Also, Trump says he wants to have the Russia-Ukraine war wrapped up quickly, but refused to say what he would do because he said, Joe, listen, I've got to keep some of this private so that I have leverage in order to get Russia to back down. Now, after Joe Rogan uploaded the video, CNN, Constant Negative News, pushed back with a list of 32 false things that Trump supposedly said. One of them was like the smallest, dumbest thing. For example, Donald Trump said that China flew 28 bombers over Taiwan the day after he left. Well, he was close. It was a couple of days after Trump had left. And it wasn't 28 bombers, but it was 28 military airplanes. So he messed up the details just a little bit. But after doing some fact checking, he is right. A couple days after he left and Biden took over, China made threats on Taiwan with 28 military airplanes. All right, now I want to tell you about today's video sponsor. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to have more energy? Do you want to be healthier? Then you need to contact Coach Brian at Body Boost by Brian for guidance on how to make and keep health goals. The government is poisoning us. We're not moving enough. Sugar is the enemy. There's so many reasons, and having a coach helped me better understand. Now, I'm down 28 pounds, and I got to tell you, I feel great. Losing weight has changed my life. I can feel it. I sleep better. I'm less swollen. I'm not overeating. And it's nice to have neighbors and family members say, hey, what are you doing? You look great. Now, under Brian's app and coaching, I feel like I can finally reach my weight loss and health goals. I tried for years on my own, and I didn't lose weight. In fact, I gained more. I felt hopeless. Maybe you've tried losing weight and failed. Me too. But I hired a coach, and I built new health habits, and now I feel and look much, much better. I want you to visit bodyboostbybrian.com to start feeling better today. Learn about Brian's 6-week program to lose 20 pounds. I've even worked out a deal to help you save money, and Brian has promised to work with you directly, not one of his junior coaches. So make sure to mention you saw this on Stephen Gardner so you can get the best deal and work with Coach Brian directly. I'll leave that link and all the information down below. Now, as the Harris campaign continues to lose popularity, according to betting markets, they have turned to video games in order to connect with young men. Over the weekend, Representative AOC and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the VP candidate, played a Madden football game against each other while discussing politics. It was a very embarrassing situation. Nobody cares if AOC knows how to play Madden football. Nobody feels closer to Tim Walz because Tim Walz can play a video game. Furthermore, Harris now has her own Fortnite map. That's right, the cartoonish game that's been popular for years just became political. Did they create a Donald Trump map? No, they did not. So obviously they are Democrat, left-leaning Harris supporters. All right, now it seems the Harris campaign is making an attempt to appeal to the virtual world, as every time she goes to a rally, she gets booed. The best instance was when Harris got Beyonce to make an appearance at her rally in Houston. It was her biggest rally. It looked like everything was going to go great. Only it turned out that Kamala Harris and her election team lied to their voters. They told them there would be a live musical appearance from Beyonce. Only Beyonce didn't play any music. She gave like a 3-minute speech about the benefits of abortion. Like, you guys, why would you lie to your voters? They're going to find out there's not a free Beyonce concert. I mean, Democrats abuse their voters. They abuse the Black community. They ignore the Hispanic community. I don't know why anybody votes for these people. It's just crazy. All right, that's my update for today. What do you guys think of Donald Trump's threat saying, if I win, we're going to come down hard on anybody that attempted to cheat or rig the presidential election? I think it's brilliant. It's time for accountability. You cannot cheat and get away with it. Hey, I love you guys. Do me a favor. There's thousands of you right now. Will you give this video a like? Because it tells YouTube and Rumble to share it. Also, hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 1.8 million amazing truth seekers. Hey, I love you guys, and I will see you on the